Hey everybody, it's Prynne with BackStage360. I'm here with an amazing duo, Jimmy and Enrique. Hey guys, thanks for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us here.
So, you guys have been really busy this year. What's been going on first half of the year, and then I'm going to go this way with the last half.
Well, we've been playing a lot. We're playing a lot of events. We're playing a lot of shows. We play like four nights a week mostly, and the summer is busy always for us. So we have a bunch of events coming on, and we still working in new songs, and we always trying to keep up with trying to get new songs, and we do different things when we do a concert and our regular gig. So we'll try to keep up with all that stuff. And try to grow up as a musician. You know?
Well, you guys have had a busy year already. What's up for the rest of this year then?
Well, eventually we'd like to finish up our CD. We started a couple years ago. Started writing songs.
Wait a minute. Do we have a name for the CD yet?
Not yet, unless you have an idea.
No, we were just hoping for breaking exclusive news.
We've just been writing songs. I haven't recorded anything yet, but just been working on songs. So
We got a release date? Approximate?
Maybe for holidays, maybe the holidays, yeah.
So we're at a six-string event, Six String Society, and how did you guys initially get cooked up with? Because we have Six String Society, we got Fallbrook Live,
Yeah.
and we have Ken Rexrow Productions, and Ken does an amazing job. How did you guys initially get hooked up with him?
Let's see, one of the members of Six String Society actually referred us to Kenneth. So I met him for lunch one day, and then he invited us to play at one of the open mics. And that's kind of how it all started. And then our first show was the Paris, yeah.
Was that a Belly Up?
The Belly Up, yeah, the Belly Up, yeah. So, and that was amazing experience. I never played at the Belly Up before, and never really did shows before. Just more. We've always done, the restaurant gigs and that kind of work, but this was kind of our first big kind of cool show. Yeah.
Is it fair to say that you're in the staple now, or don't you want to be horses?
Yeah, well, no, but I have to say, Kenneth always does, and he's awesome, like promoting, supporting local music, and one of the things that we love is like he always make these amazing shows, like includes all different kinds of music. And the first time that we play, we were like, well, what are we gonna do? Because everybody's so different, but it was an amazing experience, and every show is like a whole experience, and that's the beautiful thing about the Six String Society. Like one band has one style of music, and then another one a different, and then we came and we put we can be ourselves on stage, and it's just magical, man. It's so awesome.
Well, I think he does a great job with all those artists, and these guys are living proof of that. You guys haven't seen either of these guys play yet? Make sure you check them out. The website is
JimmyandEnrique.com.
and you're going to head there right now and find out where they're playing, because they're worth every bit of your time. For BackStage360, we'll be back with somebody in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. Thanks, guys.
See you, man. Thank you.
I told you we'd be back with another great artist. We're sitting with Mr. Jody Bagley. Jody, thanks for sitting here, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me here.
This feels like deja vu all over again.
I know, right? We've all been here before.
So, what's going on tonight? We're at a Six String Society event. Tell us about it.
Yes, we're at one of the newest Six String Society events that we're putting on, and it's a theme called I Believe. We've got a great collection of some of San Diego's finest, most diverse musicians, many of whom I've heard of for years but haven't had a chance to actually see live. So I'm very excited. We've got some different collaborations and very kind of community feel tonight, even though many of us have just met for the first time.
Wow. I mean, a lot of us that come to these events always get introduced to a new artist or two. It's nice that you're finally getting introduced to a couple new ones.
Yes, I know. It's great for us as well. I was commenting to someone backstage how when you perform as much as you do, it's hard to see your friends perform because they're playing Friday and Saturday, but you're also playing Friday and Saturday. So you often don't get to see a lot of these people that you want to see. We don't get to go out and have fun as much. You know, we're having our own fun.
You got to go to NAMM to do that.
Right, exactly. And then you can run into everybody. Yeah, so it's really cool to be able to do this. And Kenneth is really great at bringing a lot of artists together. Has some great visions, and everyone kind of comes together for making these really memorable nights. So.
We have Ken Rexroad Productions, we have Six String Society, and we have Fallbrook Live. How did you get involved with Ken from the get-go?
The way I got involved with Ken, it was actually through Casey Hensley and her band, her and Evan. I had known them, I'd known Casey since she was in her late teens. We kind of met and collaborated and did a few recordings and things together, which was really cool. And so she had me, I think, on one of the first 27 Club shows, which is really cool because I've become a much bigger part of that show now. So that's when I first met her, and it was a show at the Belly Up, and I remember coming in, not really knowing what was going on, but seeing all these different artists, and kind of same thing as tonight, being introduced to a lot of people I'd never met before. And I met Ken, you know, and Casey was real great about, you know, we want you to meet Ken, and you got to sing for Ken. I'm also a singer, so they're like, Ken's got to hear your voice, you know, he's got to hear your voice. So they were always trying to push me into doing that. So I started doing a few other events kind of with Casey, and then under the Six String name, and then eventually kind of just started to become a different part of it. And tonight I'll be doing a couple songs by myself, as well as playing along with Casey and the band.
Well, backing up to the 27 Club, that not only has been selling out the last 2 years, but it also went on the road to Laughlin, I believe.
Yes, we went to Laughlin, Nevada for the second year in a row, to the Riverside Casino there. A beautiful theater called Don Laughlin Celebrity Theater. And yeah, we love it there. It's a great opportunity to put on this show that we've worked a lot on and to play it for new audiences. And we'll have upwards of, you know, 250, 300 a night. And, you know, we stick around, talk to the audience after. People really enjoy it and have a great time. So it's kind of fun to bring this show to a place and get to kind of set up, leave everything there, have fun during the day, hang with each other, and then get to perform a show every night.
There's nothing like a residency.
Oh, residency is perfect. Just come down from your hotel room. Hotel room's your own dressing room, and then come down, everything's set up. I had a huge keyboard set up. Everything's all ready to go, and yeah, so it's fun to do those every now and then. We do so many back and forth gigs where you're at a different night, you know, 5 to 7 nights a week. So to be able to be at one place is really fun.
And nobody has it worse than a keyboard player because they got to lug some heavy crap around. So leaving it on stage is kind of nice.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people, drummers obviously have a lot of gear, but when you bring a lot of vintage gear like I do, tonight I'm going real light because we have a lot of things on the stage. But normally I'll bring a big 1956 organ and a lot of things like that. So yeah, I take up quite a big footprint, and it takes a lot to set up, but I love that I can use a lot of that real gear, and people appreciate it, especially on the road.
That's a good sized stage, and I don't see any room on it at all.
Right, no, not really. We'll be lucky if we can get up on there. They're going to have to lower me from the ceiling to get behind the keyboard.
How can people get a hold of you and follow what you're doing? I know that your fans want to know where you're going, where you're going to be.
Awesome, yeah, that'd be great. I do most stuff. Still working on getting my website out. Have an album of original music that I'll be releasing hopefully in the next couple of months. It's all ready to go. So you can find me on my Facebook. Search for Jody Bagley. And I do a lot of promotion on my Instagram, which you can find me under the name Organ Freeman.
Organ Freeman.
Organ Freeman, that's me.
Do we have a release date or approximate date on a release of that album yet?
The approximate date that I'm shooting for the digital version is, I'm hoping for July 31st. I just put it out there into the world now. That's about 3.5 weeks away. But I'm hoping for that with a CD and vinyl release to happen within the next couple of months before the end of the year after that.
And if you want to find out about that album, all you have to do is read the magazine, because we'll have something on it for you. And we'll be able to tell you where he's going, and all the songs will be there for purchase too. Jody, thanks for taking some time, brother.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
The Backstage 360 and Jody Bagley. We'll be back again in a little bit with another artist. Hang around. Hey, I told you we'd be back with another artist. We have Kurt Wilson with us, and he's in the band.
The Paul Franceschi Band. We're a local R&B band, and we're just here to support the Six String Society and a lot of our young artists like Anthony Collins, for example. And we really need to get behind these young kids and make sure that they have a chance, like we did coming up.
Absolutely. Not that we're old and ancient, but the music scene has definitely changed. What have you seen as some of the biggest changes in the music industry?
Well, one of the biggest changes, of course, is all the electronic stuff that's out there. And fortunately, there's been a big increase right now in the grassroots of blues, R&B, and sort of getting back to the real music and away from the electronics. Not that the rap and the electronic stuff is bad, but fortunately we have a grassroots sort of a resurgence of young artists wanting to play the blues and real rock and roll music. So it's neat to see things like the Six String Society bringing back things like Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, and this kind of stuff, and people like you reinforcing this whole project. And Kenneth, we have to really give him a lot of props, for doing this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. In fact, that's why we're all here tonight.
Absolutely.
I understand you just got back from Chicago. Tell us about that trip.
Well, that was a great trip. I was there on doing a recording project, working on one of my projects, a song called A Dream, and we're expecting to release that in August. Got a chance to play with one of my idols, Buddy Guy, while I was there, and Buddy is also involved with giving young artists a chance. He actually does an open mic similar to what some of the clubs here do. So it's really cool. And I grew up in Chicago and fortunately had a chance to be exposed to Buddy and Muddy Waters and a lot of the great blues artists of that time period.
Chicago style blues.
Chicago style, yeah. Amen, man.
And you really have to say Chicago style blues, because there's a different fix on it.
Oh, there is, definitely. Well, you have, Chicago style blues, and then you have sort of, the Mississippi
Muddy Waters.
Yeah, that style blues. But what's interesting is we have now cultivated our own style of blues here in California, Southern California. You have groups sort of like the Paladins and so on that have cultivated this different sound, this mix of California rock with traditional blues. It's really a great sound. And youngsters like Anthony Collins are at the sharp end of this new sound. It's awesome.
It's actually wonderful to watch Anthony mature as one of those artists and actually create his own style of blues based on some of the influences that you've already mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. And Anthony's been the recipient of having some excellent older players around him as he's been coming up. It's been really cool to watch.
So where can people find out more about what you got going on and get a hold of you?
Okay, well, our next event for the Paul Franceschi Band is actually an event called the Moose Fest, and that'll be coming up on the 13th of this month in Escondido at the Moose Lodge in Escondido. They have a very cool outdoor amphitheater there, and you'll be able to catch us, the Reagan Williams band. Also, Reagan Williams is also another fine young guitarist coming up in sort of Anthony's cut from the same cloth. We'll have him. We'll have the young Ramos coming up, the Cougars, the Lowdowns, which is also a very cool, sort of a very blues-orientated group from San Diego. So it'll be a very neat show. So that'll be the next thing on our agenda.
Now that's the Moose Lodge in Escondido.
In Escondido, right. And then we're also working in the Thunderbird Studios. I have to put a plug in for Thunderbird Studios, which is our good friend Thomas Yearsley from the Paladins. And so we're working there, and there's just I could go on for a whole bunch of use up the whole show here probably.
Well, we intend to come and check you guys out and do another interview in depth at that point anyway.
Well,
so
thanks a lot so much. We really appreciate it. And
so how do fans find out about what you're going to release and tour schedule, what you have going on? You have a website then?
Right. Well, you can go on my Facebook. It's Kurt Wilson. And just go ahead and check my Facebook out, and it'll have a whole schedule of what's coming up for our band and for our projects and our record release and all of that great stuff. And I just want to send a shout out to our military guys and all the great stuff that they do for us that allows us to pursue our music and all our great stuff. And God bless everybody out there. Thanks so much, guys.
I couldn't agree with him more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with a couple more artists in just a minute. And we're back with somebody that just happened to show up for the show, Roger Prynne. Roger, thanks for stopping by, man.
My pleasure. Should be a fun gig.
It's going to be a real fun gig. What do you got going on? I know that you're out there with several bands, I believe. What are you doing?
Mainly, I'm producing now. I have a production company, so I've been working on several projects. Some are under the radar, some are a little bigger. But yeah, just really just hanging tough. This year, laying low a little bit. Not touring at all this year, which is good. I needed a break.
Well, if you've got a production company, that's a full-time job all by itself. What's the name of the production company?
Friend Productions. So, friendproductions.com. And I'm just working with local artists and some more national and doing not just producing, but I work with several studios. So depending on what the project is and the style, the genre, I'll work in a different place. But my favorite place in town is Alan Sanderson's room called Pacific Beat Studios on Tourmaline. Like the best recording studio.
He's on the payroll.
I'm serious, I'm not. But we do so many projects there and they're just stellar every single time. It's like so much easier than going to LA and dealing with all that. But that's where we used to work together up there at Ocean Way and Cello and different places. But now we're just producing my stuff. And I just put together a new band called DAB 2.0. DAB stands for the Dwight Adams Band. Dwight Adams was the singer for Dr. Feelgood and the Interns of Love back in the 80s, 90s, I guess. And he moved to Australia. I was in Europe for 12 years. And we reconnected about 4 months ago. And we're just putting a band together. Pretty stellar group of guys. So, and a new singer, Jasmine Rogers, amazing vocalist. She's like 22 and sings like Whitney Houston. I mean, wow. So we're doing some really cool material. You might be seeing that come out here soon.
So you got a few bands though that you're still kind of sitting on hold, but you've got to be going out on the road a little bit later on the year, right?
Not this year.
Not this year.
I took the year off. I had a few things happen in my life that I needed a break. So it's I pretty much said no to any tour the whole year. So who knows what's going to happen next year.
Can we see you down the road, maybe get involved with Rex Road Productions, Six String Society?
Yes, please. I should be playing with some of these guys.
Well, there you go, Ken. This is your video. You should be playing with you guys.
Hello.
Hey, folks, thanks for taking some time with us, Roger. Appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back again.